Dana White just announced last night that Jon Jones is retired. This is breaking news, kind of, sort of. It's been like a day. For the past 7 months, UFC fans have been kind of fed up with Jon Jones. Maybe even further back than that. I know me, I've been fed up since the first failed drug test. He's definitely been a polarizing character in the UFC. From the matchmaking insisting on him fighting Stipe Miocic last year instead of Tom Aspinall, him getting an injury during the Stipe Miocic camp, and us having to wait an extra 6 months for a Stipe fight, while Tom Aspinall was still the interim champ. Then after that, him refusing to fight Tom again after beating Stipe, it has been rough. If you're a real fan of the sport, you probably thrown something, hit something, had to go take a walk, had to go get some fresh air. If you really have been following the UFC the past few years, this has been frustrating. But this retirement, it seems to have come out of nowhere.
Jon Jones called us last night and retired. Jon Jones is officially retired. Tom Aspinall is the heavyweight champion of the UFC.
This came out of nowhere because for the longest, Dana White was insisting that this fight was going to happen. Tom Aspinall and Jon Jones are going to happen. He was insisting on it. I even saw Unk and Ocho. They made a video about this. This has been big news. You know they have never heard about Tom Aspinall until today. Ocho, Jon Jones has officially retired from the UFC. I really think he ain't running for nobody.
Stop the cap.
Jon Jones is the baddest man that has ever fought. If you ask anybody who watch UFC, and then poor Ocho don't know what's going on, bro.
I think knowing Jon Jones, knowing the competitor that he is, I think he's going to come back for one more fight.
He's not, man. You are not up to speed at all. If you're not like Unk and Ocho and you have actually been keeping up with the sport, if you have followed Tom Aspinall's rise, you have been pissed off. But still, this retirement, it feels like it's come out of nowhere, which made me suspicious. So in this video, I'm gonna break down my theory on why this retirement has been dragged out so long. I'm gonna show you why I think this has been dragged out so long. I'm gonna tell you right now, actually. I think Jon Jones has been retired this whole entire time. We can see it clearly. When you look back, hindsight is 2020. You see it clearly. You guys remember these tweets? When Jon Jones says, hey, y'all barking up the wrong tree. I told the UFC my plans a long time ago. I have no idea why they haven't shared them with you guys yet. So what were his plans a long time ago? He was retired. He was retired. So someone said, what exactly are your plans? To continue to monetize on this amazing brand that I've created. See, now he's being kind of manipulative. He's acting like he's not retired, but that's been the whole plan, right? He's actually been retired, but they're going to drag it out as long as possible because to continue to monetize on this brand, what does that even mean? Like staying active, but being inactive. He's building his hype. Every tweet, every interview, every tease of a return, it's going to generate attention. That attention equals negotiating power. He can demand more money by keeping the possibility of a return alive, even though he is retired. Monetizing the brand keeps him in the GOAT conversation also. If he just officially retires, the conversation starts shifting to past tense. But by hovering on the edge, being semi-retired, he keeps himself relevant in the title picture currently, which keeps his merch sales up, keeps his media mentions up, and his sponsor values up. That's how, I mean, if he was retired, I doubt that this Russian, Thailand, Ultimate Fighter show that he was doing would be as big. Like, he just got a reality TV show. That's only because he's still holding the title. When he walks around, when he gets an appearance, they're calling up Jon Jones, current heavyweight champion. And that's making him more money. So I think that's what he means by monetizing on this amazing brand. It's all a facade. He's actually retired. If you don't think he's actually retired, we're going to go back to his press conference after he fought Stipe. And we're going to see, what does he say? What he literally tells you. When someone tells you who they are, listen to them. He literally tells you.
You know, I'll retire the heavyweight belt if I have to.
What?
Retire the heavyweight belt if I have to.
Huh?
I feel like I'm at a place now where I don't want to fight dangerous up-and-comers anymore. I want to fight dangerous, established champions.
Okay, so he literally just told you. He literally just told you. This is right after the Stipe fight. These tweets are not tweets of someone in current competition mode. These are farewell letters. He has been retired. But I think the UFC has just been keeping it under wraps. No, John, please. Don't say that out loud, John. Don't say it out loud. Strategically, we're going to keep you unretired. And you know what? This is not even the first time that Dana White has tried to delay a retirement announcement. You guys remember Khabib? Do you remember Khabib? I know Uncle Ocho probably don't remember. Khabib Khabib has officially retired from the UFC. This is breaking news, Ocho. What do you think? That's a bad man. That's a bad man, Unc. But if you remember, after UFC 254, Khabib retired in the cage. He was carrying on. He was crying. I was like, bro, why is Khabib crying so much? Justin Gaethje isn't even that good of a win for you to be crying like this. You guys remember this? But he was actually mourning his father. And so he retired. He said, I am done. But Dana White refused to accept it. He waited for months. He pressured him. He even dangled the GSP fight in front of him. And he kept him in the rankings.
Let him take some time off. Let him heal. Not physically, but emotionally heal with what he's going through from losing his father.
So he says, oh, just let him heal. Let him take some time off. Let him heal, not physically, but emotionally. As soon as we have answers, we'll let you know. Okay, so despite this dude retiring, saying, I am retired, Dana White insisted that the belt was still technically Khabib's. He met with him later in January 2021, and he told the media this.
He's accomplished everything he's wanted to, he set out to accomplish. These guys do something spectacular. Show me something spectacular.
Wow.
And make me want to come back and fight. So I have the feeling that if somebody delivers, it could be on the co-main event or the main event.
Right.
And like I said, he thought Oliveira looked good. If he can, these guys can do something special, Khabib will fight them.
Seems like maybe that competitive itch might still be there a little bit for the Eagle.
I think so.
He does this. This is what Dana White does. This is what Dana White does. He did this about the Charles Oliveira fight. Khabib was never going to fight Charles Oliveira. Khabib was out. He was hanging out with his mom in Dagestan, riding horses, hanging out with his kids. He was enjoying his retirement. He was never going to come back. He told them. But Dana White kept dangling this in front of him, dangling this in front of us, trying to stretch it out and work his little negotiating skills or whatever to get that fight going. He did this with GSP also. He does not like to give up his number one pound for pound guys. When his number one pound for pound money cows, they say, I'm done, I'm retired, I've accomplished everything in the sport, Dana White does not let them retire. If you're Michelle Watterson or whatever, he's like, oh, who cares? You can retire. We'll give you a beautiful video and you can retire in Salt Lake City or whatever. But if you're a number one pound for pound cash cow, dude, he's not letting you go. This is kind of like when you break up with someone and they don't accept it. I know I'm not like that. When girls break up with me, I've just been like, oh, sure. Okay. When they're like, oh, flying squirrel, I think we should stop seeing each other. I just be like, okay. Oh. That's who I am. But you try to break up with a girl, they're like, no. We can work this out, okay? You're not just gonna dump me, right? Girls don't do that. They don't say no. They don't just let you dump them. They throw out future potential things like, you said you were gonna love me forever. What about that? I told my parents that you were different, but you're not different. You're just like everyone else, right? They do that. They try to guilt trip you, pull the emotional stuff out, and then they pull out future potential stuff to make you feel bad to get you to have FOMO, right? What about the trip we were gonna make to Florida? I guess you don't wanna go to Florida, huh? You just wanna go with your stupid friends, right? So Dana White is that girlfriend. Dana White is that, but you said you were the greatest. Jon Jones tries to retire, Khabib tries to retire, GSP tries to retire. Hey, but you said you were the greatest. You said you don't run from anybody. You take any fight, anywhere, any place. I told everyone that you wouldn't back out, right? And then he tries to get the FOMO, right? What about the $30 million payday? What about when you beat this new guy? What about when you fight and it's the biggest fight of all time? Really, you're just gonna sit on your couch? You're not the type of guy to sit on his couch. Come on. This is what he does. He does not accept retirements that well when they are from his undisputed GOATs. Another reason they didn't let Jon Jones retire, even though Jon Jones has been retired this whole time, if Jon Jones is still active, they can keep hyping that next fight and they can keep grooming that next champion. Not Epstein grooming, not Diddy grooming. I mean like pushing him out, promoting, making that guy a bigger star. Because boom, if he announces retirement and the title's vacant, they lose a huge narrative. But Jon hovering over the division gives more drama than if he just said, I'm done. Sadly, Tom Aspinall has probably gotten more publicity by not fighting Jon Jones than any other fight, any other win that he's ever had in his career. This is his biggest storyline by having a theoretical future fight with Jon Jones. You think Blades versus Aspinall made as much money as the combination of Tom's press appearances, TV appearances, YouTube videos, merch sales? Tom, his stock has grown tremendously just by this theoretical fight with Jon Jones. So dragging it out makes Tom a bigger star. It makes Jon a bigger star. It brings more attention to the UFC, even though it's bad publicity. All publicity is good publicity. In boxing, the same thing is happening with Canelo and Benavidez. I mean, you guys, you love to call me a boxing casual, especially the British guys, dude. Especially the British subscribers. How dare you speak of things you have no knowledge of? This flying squirrel, more like a flying rat in the subway. You have no idea what you're speaking of. That's how you guys are freaking. I say anything about boxing on this channel. You guys, he's absolutely wrong. Anthony Joshua has not run away from anybody ever in his career, even though that fat Mexican knocked him out. That's not how I think you guys talk, but it kind of is how I think you guys talk. I'm sorry. Benavidez, would I be wrong to say, even though I'm a boxing casual, according to you guys, would I be wrong to say that Benavidez's biggest storyline is about the fight that has not happened with Canelo Alvarez? This is a real dirty way to build up a prospect. It's a real dirty way to transfer fans from the old guy to the younger guy. UFC fans, they have been transferred from Jon Jones to Tom Aspinall right now, just through this whole drama, through this whole dragging it out. But there's also another mystery about this Jon Jones retirement. According to Ariel Helwani, Jon Jones, he asked for a lot of money and they negotiated and the UFC got him the number. Then he verbally accepted the fight. And then a couple days later, he said he was out. Dana White recently just said, deal's done. We had the deal done.
The fight was done. We had the fight done a long time ago. So why he decided not to fight, you guys will have to ask him that.
Dana White looking like a little puppy dog. But this is exactly what salesmen do to you. This is what businessmen do to you. They make you say a yes one time and then they run with it. I have these pest control guys. They come to my house all the time trying to sell their pest control, and they do the same thing. They get you to say yes, 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 and then your yes gaslight you into thinking that the deal is done, basically. Car salesmen do this to you. Every salesman does this to you. So they'll ask you, like, do you want to get rid of your... I see that you have some ants right here. You'd probably like to get rid of those, right? You'd like to have a house with no bugs in it, right? And then you say yes. So boom, that's one yes. And you have a current pest control service, yes? How are they working out for you? And then you say, yeah, they're good, but I have this ant pile. Yeah, I agree. Uh-oh, so that's two agreements. And they'll take that and they'll run with it. And they'll say, I tell you what, the formula that the other people use, it's actually not getting rid of the ants. It just stalls them. But we use a specific formula. When the ants eat this formula that we have, their balls explode and they disintegrate. It kills them at the source. Is that something that you would like? Would you like to disintegrate the ants' balls in your front yard? And you say, yeah, that sounds pretty awesome. They make you say yes over and over and over. So Jon Jones, Dana White, they're probably in the negotiation room. Jon, you want to be the undisputed GOAT of all time? Yeah. So Jon, you said you wanted $30 million for this fight? Yeah, Dana. So Jon, you said that you don't run from anybody, right? Yeah, Dana. So basically, if we were to give you $30 million, this fight is done. For Tom Aspinall, this fight's done? Yeah, that sounds great. I mean, I never run away from anybody. I'm going to continue to monetize this brand that I've built. And so then they verbally agree on some theoretical fight. Dana White goes around telling everybody that the fight's done, which puts pressure on Jon Jones. Jon Jones walks away thinking nothing happened. Dana White goes and tells everyone, hey, the deal's done. He strokes Jon's ego publicly. He uses Jon's pride against him. For Jon to retire with no negotiations, that just meant, hey, great career, champ, you're good. For Jon to retire after negotiations, now he has to say no to two things. He has to say no and renege on all the small agreements that they made in that negotiation. He has to say no to Tom Aspinall, No to being the greatest ever. No to being a guy who never turns down fights. No to $30 million. And he has to go back on his word to Dana White, and he has to make Dana White look like a liar. So that is a negotiation tactic Dana White uses, businessmen use. They all do it. Whole time, Jon Jones has been retired since the Stipe fight. He fully intended on fighting Stipe, sailing off into the sunset, but he didn't expect the rise of Tom Aspinall to be so grand and so enticing to fans. Remember when he fought Cyril Gane? Tom Aspinall wasn't even on the radar. Tom was going through knee surgery, and he fought Marcin Tybura. So he wasn't on Jon Jones' level. There's no way Jon Jones was going to risk his legacy for a guy who won against Marcin Tybura. All of a sudden, Jon gets injured, Aspinall and Pavlovich fight, and Tom is on the radar. Jon never intended to fight this guy. Before he even fought Stipe, he was pretty much mentally retired. He said, I'm going to fight Stipe, I'm going to run off into the sunset. I feel like I remember him saying that once. I'm not going to find the clip because I got things to do today. Jon retired before, during, and after he fought Stipe. He was retired. The UFC just did not want to say it. There was multiple reasons why the UFC didn't want to say it. This is strategic brinkmanship, which is basically pushing something to the very edge.
What do you mean by that?
You goons in my comments know all about that. Pushing something all the way to the edge until the very last second. Jon Jones has been retired. This was just the final chapter of a story that Dana White did not want to end. So what do you guys think? You think Jon Jones has secretly been retired for a year now? Or is he going to come back like what Ocho and Unk said? Let me know in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you like and you want to subscribe. This is Flying Squirrel. I will see you guys later. Peace.